Tonight, from NRG Stadium in Houston, Texas, it's a special prime time edition of the NFL on EA Sports.
And we are underway from Houston. And we will not get a run back here to start. It's a touchback, and it will come out to the 25. As the Texans offense runs out, we get a peek at the man under center. Second-year quarterback Davis Mills out of Stanford.
And remember, when he came out of college, he left early, so a lot of people weren't really paying attention to this young man, but he was entrusted with a leadership role early in his NFL career and didn't shy away from it. His goal, continue to prove that there should have been one more quarterback that went in the first round of the 2021 draft.
They run with a rookie from Florida, Dameon Pierce. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. And Pierce gets it again on 2nd down. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. It's a loss of a yard, so it's back to 3rd and 10. Right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains. On 3rd down, here's Mills. Out to the left there and complete to Howard. And they're able to get this one across the 35. A pickup of 11 and a Texans first down.
And that's well executed there on 3rd down, and I love the confidence that they had to let their tight end try and find some space in the middle of the field, right in their quarterback's line of vision. And QBs love to make that easy throw, and they hooked up there for a first down.
And this one almost intercepted. Not a good throw there, nearly an opening drive INT. Now he dumps this off over the middle. And down he goes at the 45 after a pickup of 9.
I like it, I like it, I like it. Get everyone involved in the passing game, and you know you can create those great mismatches throwing it to your guys out of the backfield.
And on the first drive, that can also help establish some rhythm, right?
I think so. It gets everyone involved. They feel like they're part of it. It really gets them amped up as they go forward.
On is the punter, Johnston, now as he sends this one away. And this will carry out of bounds. Where are they going to spot it now? At about the 18-yard line, it looks like. Now, for the first time, we get to see this Philadelphia offense led out by their dual-threat quarterback now in his 3rd season, Jalen Hurts.
Tremendous production in college at 2 different universities, and this is a guy who was a finalist for the Heisman Trophy. Still much more of a runner than a thrower, but has plenty of arm and is capable of making the big throws downfield. And don't underestimate his ability to think the game. Remember, he's the son of a coach.
A gain of 8 there on the play, and they'll be left with 2nd and a couple. Miles Sanders, first carry of the game, and he'll only get a yard to bring up 3rd and 1. All right, so they got that one, Charles, against the center.
And let's remember how difficult it is for the center, because remember, he's got to snap the ball to put the play in motion, and sometimes you got that big guy on your nose. You got sometimes where he's coming at you at an angle. It's a difficult job for him to snap the ball and then execute his block.
So the completion gets him just a yard, and that brings up 3rd and a full 10 yards. Here's Hurts to throw. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. They'll try and throw for it with Hurts. And that is going to be pulled in one-handed. Wow. 4th down conversion plays, you usually think 1, 2, 3 yards, maybe 10. Not there. What a huge pickup as the Sticks make a drastic shift forward.
I don't think we'll ever get enough of watching one-handed catches, and when they pay off, they are spectacular. But how about the times they don't pay off And coaches go, two hands still works.
I know, but they go for them so often now that I'm almost starting to take them for granted.
Yeah, that's unbelievable, isn't it? Because these are sensational type plays.
Especially that one with the defender right there. They will run for the first time with Miles Sanders. And he goes across midfield and down into Houston territory. 8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's second and a couple. They'll go again with Sanders. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. Couple of nice carries back-to-back here, establishing the ground game a bit.
Yeah, these aren't bare-bones runs now. I mean, they're getting substantial yardage, the kind of yards you're looking for, right? Let's go ahead and use a cliche. Stay ahead of the change, right? Five or more yards each time, that's what you're looking for in setting a tone and getting your offensive line going.
Good sign on the opening drive. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's second down. Hurts a handoff to Sanders. And he's brought down at the 19 after a gain of 19. First down in the red zone. You were telling me this yesterday. This is exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation? We were talking about what one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly. It's a big man's game, and it's not necessarily size. He's talking about playing some big boy football. Line up, get leverage, knock people back, and establish the run early.
And the Eagles are going to have a first and goal as the tackle is made at about the 5. They'll run with Sanders. And he's in. Touchdown, Eagles. Miles Sanders, a 5-yard touchdown run. And the Eagles will claim the early lead as they're on the board first here tonight. So both sides of the football contributing here early. Their defense forces the punt, and then the offense takes it down the field and punches it in on the short touchdown run.
And, Brandon, that's good complementary football, and that's what they're going to need if they want to get out of here victorious.
Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And Smith chooses not to return it, and they'll bring it out to the 25. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. The last series form a little disappointing, forced to punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive. First and 10. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down. The decision is to decline it and not give him the down back.
They might as well have sent a skywriter above the stadium saying, we don't think you can get the first down against our defense by that decision.
On second down, here's Pierce. And some room to roam now. And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. That one 28 yards on the ground. So from Philadelphia territory now, here's a first and 10 at the 44-yard line. First and 10, it's Pierce. It was T.J. Edwards who brought him down. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going, and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards. But also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
Pierce will try to pick it up. And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a first down.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
Mills on first down. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
They had their backs up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple of more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
To throw again on second down. Mills toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. From the gun, here's Mills. Trying to fit it into Moore, but it's intercepted. And the Eagles will take over here as they get it up to the 43-yard line.
Well, this is simply a great read by a defensive back. It's 3rd and 10, so he sits right on where the yard-to-gain marker is, knows it's going to be a route around that distance, makes his read, breaks on the football, and makes a terrific play.
The Eagles in good position to start out as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 43. They start on the ground here in Sanders. And he goes across midfield and down into Houston territory. 47 yards on the ground for him so far. The previous run good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard. Throwing is Hurts. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
It's pretty early in the game, but they've already tried to establish him not just as a runner, but as a receiver as well. Didn't happen there, but I wouldn't be surprised at all to see them try again shortly.
And he's got the 1st down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. Give him 6 yards, and they do convert on 3rd. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him, so when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
12 yards is the pickup. Good for an Eagle 1st down.
Well, as a coach, you absolutely love seeing your offense find their rhythm early, and that's exactly what we've seen so far. They had a touchdown on their opening drive, and now they connect here for another nice gain for a 1st down. This offense is moving the ball well, exactly as he drew it up in practice.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. From the gun, it's Hurts. He's got a man. It's his tight end. That's complete. And he's down into the red zone at the 15 after a gain of 15. 1st and 10. Now that tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point that continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. And he's going to work this one down to about the 5. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. Looking to throw. Sanders. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Quez Watkins. A 5-yard touchdown run. And the Eagles lead this now 13-0 here in the opening quarter of the ball game. This feels like something we'd see more commonly, CD, in a college game. They give it to the receiver down here in the red zone, but it winds up successful.
Yeah, partner, I think you'd think it's less likely to find running space to the edge down here close to the end zone where things are so condensed. But a lot of times you end up focusing on the running backs, and they're able to slip it to the receiver, and it resulted in a touchdown.
Elliott good with a PAT, and it's now 14-0. So that drive goes 8 plays, and it's finished off with a 5-yard touchdown run. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And Smith not going to bring it out, so it's a touchback. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points, but then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls that work. Now, they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover that plagued it on the last one.
Here's Mills. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Darius Slay with a pick. And the Eagles are going to take possession of the football.
Well, they're certainly not giving much help to their defense, are they? Because for the second time now, that D has had to run back out on the field early after an interception. And remember, on the last drive, the opposing side took it in for 6 after that interception.
66 yards rushing for him now in the ball game. Well, they're making a real first-quarter statement with a run game, no doubt.
For those who remember old-school football, running it, establishing things, seeing backs find holes, get through them, they've got to like what they're seeing from this unit so far. Right now, they've decided to, as you've said, establish the run game, and they've been successful doing it.
Sanders to throw on second down. And this is incomplete. The Eagles and Texans, polar opposites last year in terms of running the football. The Eagles were number 1 in the league. The Texans, 32nd, dead last. And in fact, the Eagles ran for nearly twice as many yards as the Texans did in 2021. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive alive.
I liked his focus there because he wasn't thinking about breaking that one big. All he thought about was, I need 1. Let's go get that. Ended up picking up 2.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll run the jet sweep with Brown. And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Stopped immediately there. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2. The Eagles on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 2. Throwing from the gun, it's Hurts. Throw right side, caught by Goddard, the tight end. And he is going to have an Eagles first down by a couple of yards as they're able to get 4 there on 3rd and 2. Hurts with a little pop pass on the jet sweep. And some determined running there as he'll pick his way down to the 12-yard line. 10 yards there and an Eagle first down. Hurts sets up to throw it. This will be caught at the 2. And the Eagles are going to be set up with a 1st and goal on a pass play that moves them all the way down to the 1.
I think he has to be saying to himself, how did that not wind up a touchdown? Remember, you just need the tip of the ball to cross the plane. It's not going to get there, but they're going to be set up in great shape with 1st and goal.
They scored touchdowns on drives 1 and 2, and now they're trying to make it a perfect 3 for 3 to start. They're going to go with a tight end here on the running play. And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. Grant Calcaterra punching it in from a yard away. And the Eagles take a 3-touchdown lead. Elliott now to add the extra point. And it is now 21-0. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all. And it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And Smith chooses not to return it, and they'll bring it out to the 25. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse if this is an important possession. But I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit. And if they don't score here.
And Mills is intercepted for the 3rd time. And the Eagles are going to take possession of the football. And they'll take possession already in the red zone and in a great spot to add points to the scoreboard.
And, Brandon, how many times have we seen a defense with a lot of field behind them get even more aggressive, right? They feel like they've got them not pinned down, but in a favorable spot for them. And they took advantage of it there, got a nice interception, and set up their offense in great shape.
Up the middle they go with Sanders. And he's going to get it inside the 10 to the 7-yard line. 77 yards rushing for him now to this point.
And after that type of a run, there's some talking going on down on the field, but it's not trash talking. The guy who just carried the ball, he's going back and telling his offensive line, great job, keep it up, and we'll break that one soon.
They only got 2, but that was enough as they'll convert to make it 1st and goal.
Well, someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot of it's been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on 3rd down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards. And Goddard's got it. Touchdown, Eagles. 4 yards on the touchdown grab. And the Eagles continue to pull away here in this first half. Elliott on for the extra point. It's good, and they stretch their lead to 28-0 now. A drive there of just 4 plays. And the drive was all finished off on the touchdown catch by Dallas Goedert. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And Smith not going to bring it out, so it's a touchback. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
As a defensive back, you have some weapons at your disposal that we don't often talk about, and you can read the receiver's eyes, you can read his hands, and you know that the arrival of the ball is imminent, and that allows you to make a play on it and oftentimes knock it away.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. A first down throw for Mills. It's hauled in by Brandon Cooks. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That one good for 20 on the catch and run. Mills now looks to throw on 1st down. And he's going to go down here, a sack. They push him back to the 34. Give the sack to Fletcher Cox. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. Mills throw complete here, pulled in by Howard. And he'll be marked down right at the 20-yard line.
That's a good bounce-back play right there after taking a sack on 1st down. Didn't quite get it to the marker, but now they're in a much better spot for a 3rd and short yardage call.
And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off by Kaiser White. And the Eagles are going to get it back here just shy of the 20.
And when a team advances as far as they did, got over the 50-yard line, don't you think that drive deserved a better ending? I think he needs to get with his coaches on the sidelines, make some immediate adjustments, and that's what you do. You don't wait. You do it from series to series, because drives like that end with a turnover, that's multiple times they picked him off already in this opening half.
And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the 1st down run. He gets maybe 3. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Another run with Sanders. And he'll be upended here after a pickup of 3, getting it out to the 25. Hurts. And that's complete to Sanders. And he is going to have an Eagles 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Well, things are definitely going right for them here in the first half. Pick it down, any down, even 3rd down, no problem. They get a connection there and pick up a fresh set of downs, continuing to move the ball.
He's going deep for Brown. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. Touchdown, Philadelphia. A.J. Brown, 65 yards. And the Eagles have taken a 5-touchdown lead. Elliott now to add the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So that drive, 4 plays. And it's capped off by an A.J. Brown touchdown. And Smith chooses not to return it, and they'll bring it out to the 25. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily what you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. The offense on 3rd down tonight, 3 for 7 so far in this game. This is 3rd and 4. To throw, Mills. A hit as he throws. They're incomplete.
Well, based on what we've seen so far, I don't think you can even call this an off day anymore, partner, because this group we're watching, they are totally out of rhythm, trying to get their game plan up and running. That 0 on the scoreboard is glaring down at them with every incompletion.
Now Mills on 4th down. And it's going to be batted down, and we'll go the other way with the football. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And the Eagles are going to take over in great field position. They're coming out with a jumbo package to start the drive. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And he'll be brought down at about the 23-yard line.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the 1st down. They'll look to throw for it on 3rd and 1. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down.
Oftentimes when you're losing a game and the team's still throwing with this kind of a lead, you start playing a little more physically. And they took that opportunity right there to be extremely physical and force that incompletion.
The kick by Elliott is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So the starting field position was terrific following the surprising turnover on downs, but the end result, only 3 points.
Simply stated, I think you have to look at that as a missed opportunity.
And Smith not going to bring it out, so it's a touchback. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. And last time, went for it on 4th, didn't get it. See if they can pick themselves up off the mat and do better this go-around.
Sometimes I have this vision of coaches writing notes to themselves before a game. And sometimes that note says, be aggressive, stay aggressive. Maybe that's what we saw in the last possession.
Yeah, they were very aggressive. This time, will it result in points? We'll find out. Pressure comes, and down he goes. The Eagles get there for the sack. Javon Hargrave. What a play by him. That's going to go as a loss of 13. On 3rd down, here's Pierce. And able to get it here to about the 16-yard line. Call it a gain of 4, but not enough. The punt team going to need to be summoned here on 4th down. On 4th down, out is the punter, Cameron Johnston, to boot it away. A punt of 46, a return of 5. And it will be Eagles football, 1st and 10. Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
The Eagles going to take the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. They'll set up to throw. Is this intercepted? It is. It's intercepted. Jalen Petrie picks it off. And the Texans are going to take possession of the football. Well, he's certainly not been afraid to take some chances downfield. Now, look, it's paid off for him a couple of times. That time, not so fortunate.
And that's where I want to start, what you said. It's paid off a couple of times. So his aggressiveness, it's been good for his offense for the most part. So he throws an interception there. No one likes that, but I would not rein him back in. The return on investment thus far has been pretty good. 2 touchdowns to 1 interception.
So we've reached halftime here, and it's our visitors, the Eagles, leading this one. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. Back to you guys in a bit. But first, we welcome everyone to our EA Sports halftime report. This one, maybe not the hard-fought battle many had hoped for. This has been blowout city thus far, but still more football to be played. Who knows what could happen? As we send you right back out to Brandon Gaudin.
Taking it about the 1. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. Second half will start with a run by Sanders. And not a whole lot there, maybe a yard to the 27.
Well, partner, I don't think it's any secret that any running back wants to be able to see a hole open so that he can gallop through it. But in this case, he had to slow down. There was really no hole there, and he took a big hit in order to get that 1 yard.
Hurts throw here taken in as he's able to find Goddard. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And it'll leave him with 3rd and a full yard to go. They'll try and run for it with Sanders. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. A 40-yard punt, 1 yard on the return, and the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. On 1st and 10, Mills. He's letting it fly for Cooks. And my goodness, another interception. And the Eagles are going to have the football here at their own 35-yard line. And you have to wonder, Charles, a game like this, 5 interceptions, what does this do to the psyche of a young quarterback?
But based on the fact that he's still out there and he threw a 5th interception, I'm wondering if his head coach believes that he's really strong mentally and wants him to play through it. Because otherwise, you need to get him out and fight another day, because this could leave lasting damage if he keeps throwing interceptions.
Got a man, it's Brown. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. His second catch, and this one not nearly as electrifying as his first. And it'll bring up third down now.
Many teams, as soon as they spot man defense, if they haven't called a hitch, they'll get to it as fast as they can. They want to put the ball in the hands of one of their best playmakers and hope that he can break a tackle on the outside and go for big yardage.
And he is going to have an Eagles first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. They'll run with Sanders up the middle. And they'll get this just to the 47. 1-yard gain.
They know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
Every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. On 2nd and 9, Hurts. He finds his tight end, Goddard. That's complete. And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 39. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them. And these guys have been taking advantage so far.
They'll throw on first down with Hurts. He rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Christian Harris. And the Texans are going to take possession as they've got it at the 42-yard line. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. They'll start in excellent field position following the INT. And not much there at all. Maybe a yard up to the 43.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority one.
Now this one complete downfield on the left side. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A gain of 28 yards there and give him a first down. Pierce now up the middle. To the 27-yard line.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
And Pierce gets it again on second down. And he's swallowed up right near the line of scrimmage. A third down now, and those last two plays indicative of how things have gone for them. Just nowhere to go on the ground and struggling to put up points. And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40. Javon Hargrave able to drop him that time for his second sack of the evening. And this won't get there, won't be on line either. It's no good, off to the right, and they will remain well behind.
Well, Brandon, anything beyond 50, you start rolling the dice a bit. And once you get up around 57, 58 yards, the chances of making it go down dramatically. And sure enough, this one winds up no good.
It'll be Sanders to begin the drive. Knifes his way forward here, but just 3 yards on the play, second down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work this to the 45.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it could turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
And that one a little too high as it's knocked away and incomplete.
Finally, a good play there defensively on the deep ball. The secondary has had its struggles this entire game. Offensively, they've had their way with them.
Giving to the big tight end on fourth. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. Well, we kind of looked at each other as they decided to go for it, but in the end, great execution, a 6-yard gain, and it all works out. On 1st and 10, it's Hurts. Wide open receiver complete. And he'll be marked down right at the 20-yard line.
This is just more of the same. This defense has had no answer on a lot of these throws. They've let these receivers run wild, and here's another completion for good yardage.
And he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
And Hurts is intercepted, his 3rd of the game. Desmond King picks it. Well, with the size of lead that this offense has, I don't think that interception is really going to affect them much. But at least for this defense, something small to hang their hat on.
Yeah, and let's face it, they're not even scoreboard watching anymore, right? They're just trying their best to make a play, get themselves off the field, which they just did, and salvage a little bit of pride in this one.
And they will elect to decline the penalty.
Everything turned out the way they wanted it to. No sense in even having to take that one, hence the decline.
1st down, Mills. And that one going to be off target and incomplete.
I'm getting the sense that this offense is getting frustrated. Here we are into the 3rd quarter, and they've had plenty of opportunities to get in sync. Thus far, that hasn't happened. They're looking for answers both on the sidelines and in the huddle looking at each other.
And he'll get it up here this time to the 21. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead. So 7 yards from the 1st down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. And that's complete to Cooks. And he is going to have a Texans 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Handoff left side, Pierce. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. 68 yards on the ground for him so far. 8 yards the tally on that 1st down run. Here's 2nd and 2. Looking to throw is Mills. He's going to find his receiver, Chris Moore. And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Throwing, Mills. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down.
That sure looked like a nice call by the defense, and they're very cohesive in their coverage. As soon as he cut inside, they broke on the football and met him as the ball got there and forced the incompletion.
Back to the ground with Pierce. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the 1st down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down because they had incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up 4th down. And this kick is not going to be close. It's well short, well right to boot, and they will remain well behind.
And anytime you see a kicker trot out to try one from 56 yards, you know everything's got to come off perfectly for it to have a chance. If the laces aren't quite right, if he doesn't hit the fat part of the ball just right, it's unlikely to go through, and that one winds up no good.
And this is going to fall to the ground, incomplete. That very nearly their 4th pick of the game. Instead, 2nd down. And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead. Back now here on EA Sports. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we've played 3 quarters. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Man open left side is Brown. And they'll get this down to the 42-yard line.
Tell you what, partner, the way he's been slinging it in this one, I think he should be ticketed for a baseball cap and a set of headphones for the next drive. He's been absolutely sensational. But one thing we've both learned about quarterbacks in this league, they often stay on the field longer than you expect.
They run the option here on 1st and 10. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. It'll be a pickup of 5 on the keeper. It's 2nd down. He'll look to throw. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Well, they get a 4th quarter pick. A little something to hang their hat on, I guess.
Okay, so let's face it, though. Who's happy about this play? Fantasy guys, right?
Yeah.
The analytics will tell you one thing or another. That's a bad play on one hand, a good play on the other, but it's all about the fantasy points here.
Yeah, because this ball game is over. Mills now. That one caught downfield by Howard. And he's got to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. So from Philadelphia territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now Mills. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down. They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. Mills again. And now here is another interception. Picked up by James Bradbury. And the Eagles are going to take possession here at their own 33. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And after the interception, they are sitting in an even better spot with the ball and a comfortable 4th quarter lead. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
But 1st down, Hurts. He's going deep for Brown. And it is incomplete. Good positioning there downfield to break that one up. So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Now Sanders. And a pretty big hole as he's down to about the 40. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
But this play sequence was really kind of called in reverse. Incomplete pass on 1st and 10. Nice run on 2nd and 10 when probably everyone was expecting him to throw the football. Now, if you're the defense, what are they going to do on 3rd down? You're a little off balance.
So nothing doing there, and it'll be 4th down.
Excuse my snarkiness here, but isn't the idea of completing a pass supposed to mean you get downfield and gain yards?
Especially on 3rd down.
Yeah, that one. How about the defense? Figured that one out in a big way. Yeah, they completed it all right and lost yardage.
And this is good from 57 yards out. That was bombs away right there. And that will extend their lead even further. Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
Houston set to take over. Well, I hate to say it, but at this point, I don't really know that they're playing to win with this deficit in the 4th quarter. They're just trying to erase that 0 on the scoreboard, Charles, and get some type of momentum to carry into the film session tomorrow.
If you get any type of points on the board, it'll count as a moral victory, although no one will talk about that in the post-game press conference. That's not something you mention in the NFL. And this loss, it already stings and will for a while. But everyone on that offense knows it'll sting a lot worse if they don't put some points up on the board.
And that is going to be incomplete as he led him a bit too much. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Going for it with Pierce. And this effort will not get it done. He stopped well short of the first down at the 29. 4 yards on the pickup there, but it's going to take him to 4th down.
We often talk of situational football. Let's just call it team football. The defense did their job, got off the field, brought up a punting situation, so they're turning the ball back over to their offense. You think those guys will get along very well right now? Of course. Defense helped the offense. Now it's their turn to take it downfield.
So they've gone for it twice now on 4th down in this game, and both times unsuccessful.
I wish we could hear the headsets now between the head coach and the offensive coordinator. Now that they're 0 for 2, if they get into a third situation, head coach might say, hey, you got anything for this one? Might get radio silence back.
On 2nd and 9, Hurts. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on 3rd down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to. Well, at this juncture, CD, you normally see teams pack in the passing game. They've got the huge lead. Not them, though. They're still taking their shots.
I remember reading in past history, there was a college football coach in the Hall of Fame whose nickname was Close the Gates of Mercy. But he wasn't really big on that. He was big on going ahead and scoring. He's kind of reincarnated right here. We're watching it in front of us.
The kick by Elliott is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So he remains perfect, 3 for 3 in the field goal department.
And it's so important for any offense to have an ace like him up their sleeve, isn't it? Because now you know what his range is, and as soon as your offense gets there, you're pretty much counting on 3 points going up on the board.
And Smith chooses not to return it, and they'll bring it out to the 25. Now Houston's offense taking over again. At this point, partner, things looking pretty bleak. They still haven't scored here in the 4th quarter, facing the big deficit. What silver linings, what can they look to do here offensively?
You know, it's funny, I talked about this with a coach in the offseason and kind of had this scenario, like what feels good to you and what feels good to your team. You're down big. You really have like 1 possession left, and you're trying to put points on the board that don't matter. But do they? And he told me they actually do matter. And in this situation, he's going to try and run the best offense he can run to have at least a little bit of confidence to take away from that game. So right now, they're going to try their best to get something up on the board and not get shut out.
This to the sideline and over everybody, incomplete. No flags forthcoming, though. Maybe a break there. That looked like a clear throwaway to me. And the timing a bit off that time as that one falls to the ground.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
And that will be incomplete as well. Here's Cameron Johnston now as he's on to punt for Houston. Fair catch called for and taken just inside the 10-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Eagles will be backed up deep to get the drive started as they take over 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, it's Sanders. Brought down that time by Christian Kirksey.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later. And let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on 1st down.
And he's brought down, but not before they get it across the 20-yard line. 10 yards there and an Eagle 1st down. It carries like that. That's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
That's the danger, Charles, of running plays like this for your wide receiver. They can hit big or they can be duds.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that, because if they're forced to try and go around defenders behind the line,
launches deep. A jump ball, and this is caught. A big play there for Philly. 51 yards. Defense blitzed, but they picked it up pretty well.
allowed their man to stand firm in the pocket and not be hurried, didn't it? That allowed him to make the nice throw downfield to help complete that play.
So that changes things in a big way. Now from all the way down inside the 30, here's 1st and 10. Hurts a handoff to Sanders. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
If you're a coach, you'll absolutely take that run every time on 1st down, because it really sets you up to go in a number of directions here on 2nd.
2nd down. Here's an option right. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. That's now consecutive 5-yard carries to pick up the 1st down. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. He's going to drop this down to Sanders. And they've got this down to about the 12-yard line. It's a 2nd down run with Sanders. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on 3rd down. 9th play coming up here on this drive. This is 3rd and a yard. They'll look to throw. That is caught at the 7-yard line. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. They only got 2, but that was enough as they'll convert to make it 1st and goal. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. They'll run with Sanders. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. Elliott on for the extra point. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive. And it was Miles Sanders who finished it off with a touchdown run. And Smith not going to bring it out, so it's a touchback. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
On 2nd and 10, Mills. Mills can't get away, and down he goes. Fletcher Cox, his 2nd sack of the night. So now after the sack, Mills and the Texans needing to navigate a 3rd and long. And that is incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And now a fair catch called for and taken just outside the 40-yard line. Yeah, call it 38 yards on the punt, no return. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. And they will take a knee here. And they'll indeed take a knee. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. And they take a knee. Charles, when you look at the stat sheet, you realize that both sides of the ball were so dominant in this game. And on offense, not only did they score it, but they did it through the air as well as on the ground. Everything was working.
And you know that the guys who scored the touchdowns, who contributed that way, that threw them or ran them, They're going to find our cameras and have a big grin for them. But I hope our cameras find that offensive line. How versatile were they? Move the ball on the ground, move people so they could run it, and then protected their passers so they could throw it.
That'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our hardworking crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, find us on Twitter @EA Madden NFL. So long, everybody.